Have you guys heard of a pincer movement? Well, that's what the pro-male collective is going to do to this male feminist who's trying to demonize his fellow man, trying to claim falsely that women are forced into sex work when that's exactly what they love doing. Right? Now, Shield for Men covered this and he offers all kinds of stats. I'm going to the other end. I'm going directly to the source. I'm going to these strippers and they're going to admit that they love stripping. They love stripping more than families, right? I think this is going to be stronger than even Shields because even though Shields gives stats, once a woman admits what women actually think, you don't need stats. But anyway, let's get into this guy, this male feminist, Maoist Rebel News.
Having officially retired, I still get the feeling that I need to make a video on an important subject every now and then.
Now, look how it is important because men get demonized by this lie all the time. Now, look what he's got set up here. Like this woman is forced and bought. Bullshit.
This one, I think, is particularly important because it represents an infection of liberal ideology into Marxist discourse. Too many so-called Marxists are spouting the liberal nonsense of sex work is work.
I agree. It isn't work. It's a free ride. It's not work. Women prefer this over a real job.
This position is wholly anti-materialist and goes against the tradition and theory of Marxism itself.
Well, what can I say? Women are materialist. There's no such thing as a Marxist woman.
If a liberal wants to hold this position, by all means, go ahead and do so. It's your ideology. But as Marxists, we categorically reject this liberal stance with our materialist analysis and rejection of rape as a legitimate industry.
Oh, I see. So this male loser who would bang these women in a heartbeat, but just can't, he's considering it rape. Dude, why you? So are you a rapist? Because everyone knows that you would love to bang these women. Now, we'll go right to the source. This woman, OakLeavesand Onions, she was an ex-stripper. No, actually, she might still be doing it. But her channel is at least 6 years old. Take a look at this one. There she is, much younger. Anyway, she's going to admit what women actually think about sex work.
Years and years. And apparently she had a 9-year-old son. And I'm sitting there listening to her and I'm sort of putting the pieces together about her life. And I guess one day she just kind of either hopped on a bus or hopped on a train or something and left her family behind, just kind of out of the blue, no warning. She took her son's CDs. So she took his like Britney Spears CD and brought it with her so that she could use it to DJ her own music at the club where we worked, because the first club I worked at didn't have a DJ. They had a supplier.
Do you hear that, guys? So this woman wasn't forced into sex work. She had a family. She had a man looking after her, and she had a small son. And you know what? She couldn't stand that. She couldn't stand her children. She definitely couldn't stand her husband. And she preferred to perform in front of men and get all kinds of free money and accolades and immense attention. That's what she preferred. The family unit is something women use and discard. Matter of fact, Oakley's later on will even admit that most women have an exit plan. Now, we're going to save that for another video because I'm going to get to the most important part. Here we are here. Yes, 1037, because she admits that women love doing this shit. By the way, this woman she's talking about became a deadbeat mom. No, notice no one has anything to say about this. No one in society turns around and calls her a deadbeat mom. Because people don't care whether women behave well or not. But anyway, let's get into it. 1037. Here we go. Try and get close.
I think they were pretty. And there was one gal in particular, she just looked like she was having a good time. Like she had a day job And then she would come into the strip club in the night.
There you go. She even had a job. She had a day job. So she didn't have to strip whatsoever. Hey, Maoist, where are you? Maoist, that woman didn't have to strip whatsoever. This is something she liked to do. But continue, Oakleaves.
And she would dance and she would flirt with guys and she would just have fun.
Wow. She didn't consider it a job. She considered it fun. That's why she did it. And you know what? She was being paid to have fun.
And now that I'm getting to that age, there's like this whole cougarish attitude that I've kind of developed where it's like, I can totally see myself going to a strip club, dancing for the exercise, and just kind of enjoying the atmosphere.
Wow. She's admitting it herself. So one stripper admitted it. Now she's supporting it. She sees it as fun. She likes to male attention, but she doesn't have to touch these guys. She doesn't like them that way, but she likes their attention and their money. So this woman has children herself. She has a 9-year-old. So these women, they shack up with guys to use them. You're using your husband. And then you have children who you tolerate. And then you go to the strip club where you really enjoy yourself.
And just being there to have a good time. Like, seriously and honestly, having no illusions about the fact that I am not as young and fresh and pretty as I used to be. And it's okay. I'm here to have fun.
There you go. Guys, she's here to have fun. She's not chained to some pole and whipped.
What I'm here for. So I kind of see where her attitude was coming from, like this older dancer that I'm talking about. Like, I knew a few gals who, they were older dancers because they had gotten into the business and they never figured out how to get out of the business and they were kind of stuck in it.
Yeah, but they weren't stuck in it because they were forced to. They were stuck in it because they didn't want to get a real job. Remember that first woman she talked about? She had a day job. So it's not like these women can't find employment.
And they just sort of, this is not a nice word, but they sort of fossilized into the business. And that wasn't so good. But
okay, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's their choice though. That's their life choices. So Maoist, these are women's life choices. They choose to do this. And it's not because they're down and out. Though they do have an out that men love to have. Homeless men eating out of garbage cans would love this out. They would love to sell their bodies to women and get attention from women and easy money. Men are the ones who are the oppressed gender. And you know something? Unlike Shield, I'm not going to play this fool's entire video. He opened up with all we need to. This photo says everything he believes, or at least not that he believes, that he's attacking his fellow man with. He doesn't believe this whatsoever. Maoist, you don't believe this whatsoever, dude. And you're the type of guy, you would go to one of these strip clubs. And if these women came on to you, you'd love it. So you are as pathetic as they get. Actually, you're not the worst. The right-wing guys who posture and pretend they're not about this, they're the worst. But you're open about your hostility and lies and slander to your own gender. And everyone knows what your motivation is. We all know that you want to get laid, but you can't get laid. And that's why you're Marxist too, dude. You would be a hardcore capitalist if you had a high enough status job and you could bribe women into your life. You would become a hardcore capitalist. But you aren't, so you took the Marxist route and the male feminist route. And this is bottom of the barrel to women, dude. Maoist, Rebel News, women despise guys like you. You're the bottom of the barrel to them. So what you're trying is a failed experiment. You guys should know by now. Anyway, I believe I debunked this bullshit about men forcing women to work, and sex work is something that women are forced to do. Now, Shield, I didn't play any of yours because, like, again, you've got all these stats and you give a good comeback to this guy. But I believe this woman right here is all we really need to know. Anyway, thank you guys.